Check. We're live. Oh, let's see. We did work on this before. Secret password. I should pull up. Save password. No, I don't think I'm going to need to save that one. All right, there we go. Oh, we should let everyone know we are live in person. Hopefully you can't hear my stomach growling. Man, that's loud. The week new stream makes me sound like I'm going to do something wildly different, which I don't want to, yeah. New week, same stream. Getting back to savvy. Yeah, that's probably right. And GitHub. I don't know if integration is the right word. Integration, interoperability. GitHub. Tailored flow. I don't know what to call it. Come hang out. Did I put 2 spaces in here? No way to know. All right. We're back to, whoops, shucks. Close the only one that mattered. Anyway. All right, so here's what we worked on last week. This is our anonymous question. I don't know what we want to call it. A drop-in. I'm kind of experimenting with this idea that you could create GitHub repos with sort of complete applications in them. And all you really need to do is populate some environment variables. So like, for instance, this is a really good example of one. Of course it is. It's the only one that exists. But yeah, so the idea is you've got this anonymous questions app. It's protected by a cookie. It's just simple. This could be a lot more like robust in terms of security. I don't really care though, because it's an anonymous question app. You basically just got a cookie that has a hashed version of whatever the password environment variable is set for your auth token and for your answered token. And if you don't have either of these tokens, then you get booted back to the front. It tells you it's protected. And then if you know the password, in our case, for this particular one, this password's not a secret, though the password is secret password with no spaces. Once you go in, it's going to set your auth token in. Again, this auth is not super robust. This is not the sort of application you want to set up if you're like highly sensitive data. I don't know, like HR. Anyway, you set your password, your environment variable password. I think it's site password. Let's see. Where's my anonymous? Right here. So these are the values that you need. A site password, a site question, a site title, and then an actual database URL. This is a fake one. Obviously, you can tell, George, don't fire me. So when you have all those things, it's going to build you this little app. It gives you the ability to type in a password. It's going to bring you here. It's going to hide questions until you've asked one. So let's ask a question. What's on your mind? Or what do you want to know? What is the average flight speed of an adult male brown swallow? Submit your question. The page will reload, and it's going to load up. There's my question, and there's all the other questions that have been asked since the site went live. So I like the idea of being able to just kind of have an app like this, because in Vercel, I love the way that Vercel's got set up. Is I want to create a new app. I just come add new. I hit a project. I'm just going to find that anonymous questions repo. I'm going to click import, and then I'm going to give it its own set of variables. So that's going to be, oh hey, what's up, Priven? Doing good. I'm just explaining this this app. I'm about to swap back to Savvy. I swear, I'm about to be on OCaml. I just wanted to wrap up this this little idea that I had. I really want to experiment later this week with the idea of building miniature apps that you can populate using environment variables and be able to just drop in and get your functionality. So this is my anonymous question drop-in app. So you literally just need, you just need these 4 environment variables, and then it's going to load you up a complete anonymous question survey that you can, just use. I don't know. It's just an idea. I think it could be fun for if you're going to have a company meetup and you want a little to-do list app or a project management thing that's simple. You could build a drop-in version of Jira or sort of thing, or Linear or whatever. I don't know. I'm going to experiment with it more later this week. This week, though, or today, though, we need to get back to OCaml because, that's what we're here for, OCaml. Is this working right? There we go. All right. So I'm going to be in Savvy with the correct number of Y's. All right. So let's see. Where do we leave off on this? Oh, no, it's not in here. We left off in GitHub. All right, so we're working on the GitHub, I don't know what to call it, integration auth flow. So this is Savvy's an OAuth 2 client library. So it's designed to be making OAuth 2 connections from the client side. It doesn't run the server. It just has helper functions that do all of the actual work for you to handle your authorization code flow or your client credential flow. Yeah, don't look too closely. OCaml may be beautiful, but the things that I write are not necessarily so. But here we are. So, do you use Dune? Yeah, I did use Dune. I used Dune and Dune Release. Dune Release worked really well. You told me about Dune Release, and so I tried it out, and it worked really well. Because we're in OPAM. This Savvy's an OPAM official app now, as of last week. So we are working on the GitHub part now. So we've got authorization, a generic authorization code. You ditched OPAM for Dune and Nix. Wait, does Dune do everything OPAM does now? The setup is way better. I'm not ready to make the jump to Nix. I'm happy with Pop! OS for now. Huh. Well, I'm guessing I'm gonna have to experiment some more with the Dune package manager. I just saw it in the OPAM or in the OCaml newsletter that Sabine posted about Dune package manager. I have that. Maybe I already have this then. Preview.dune build. Oops. Haven't I seen this? Set up OCaml Dune in under a minute. No, I have not seen this. I've really only been able to come back to OCaml since I started streaming, so I'm catching up on all of the amazing things that I missed out on. Install straight from Dune. Hot dang. project. Why is this necessary? Why not just pass a string? It replaces OPAM directly. Oh, wait. It installs all packages, OCaml versions, and everything. What? Wait, can you still, does it have switches? Like, can you still use switches, or are all the packages like directory dependent? It has a lock file. Okay. Dune package lock. Okay, that makes sense. And then Dune execute project name. I don't need that in this one. It makes OCaml so much nicer to work with. This feels very much like NPM now, from like a JavaScript side, which is in a good way, right? Like, don't love JavaScript, even though that's what pays all the bills. But I do really like the NPM, the way they've got NPM set up. My stream preview so I can actually see. Not you. Get out of here. Yeah, I'm excited. You don't like NPM? Well, but this is like the same sort of feel. Yes, you install things and you do a package lock. I guess you don't have to install things though, right? Newton is more like cargo. Yeah, that makes sense. Wish this was bigger so I could see what's in here. But I guess that's it. Why are there scroll bars? Is that my computer? That's probably my computer. Alright, easy way to configure. Oh yeah, that's just okay. Everybody should have that. Manual installation. I don't care about manual installation. I'm always going to do it this way. Alright. Only an experimental nightly release. Okay. So it's not what is it? Not GA yet. I'll have to play around with this later. Not right now, but later. This looks interesting. I mean, I guess I already have OCaml installed, so I'm going to miss out on a lot of the real key benefits, but I guess I'll get the lock file and stuff, so I can stop using switches, which are super annoying. Alright. So let's, I don't remember where I left off in this. I think I'm going to have, yeah, a GitHub route. A GitHub route. Gotta pass it the 3 things. So we decided that GitHub only needs a callback URL and a client ID and client secret. If you create a new GitHub OAuth app, that's all it really gives you. And that should be all you really need. Everything else can just be assumed. GitHub does not support Pixie, so we can just always have that disabled. I don't remember if it said anything about a state token. Actually, this feels like GitHub probably uses more like a client credentials flow than OAuth. Well, it's still an authorization code flow just because it has a callback URL. So I guess we still need that. So the way that I've structured, like sort of both the GitHub and the authorization code flow, the generic authorization code flow, is the first step is you call a function like get authorization URL. I think they're both called get authorization URL, and that's going to build the URI that you need the client to be sent to initiate an authorization code flow. So that authorization code URL is gonna like, hello? It's gonna be, well, let's look at the big implementation. Oh no. URL, there we go. So it's gonna take a config, which is that authorization URL config that it was just stuck on. Hey Duran, but it was fun seeing you. Hey, yeah, it was fun hanging out. See you later. Have a great rest of your afternoon, evening. Yeah, so the authorization code config, yeah, I look forward to it. I'll see you then. Authorization code config looks like this. It just needs all of the important stuff that a normal authorization code flow is going to use. So it's going to have like your authorization endpoint. This is where the user is actually going to be, or the client rather, is going to be sent, or the user agent, I guess. Technically, we're the client. The user agent is going to be sent to here. It's going to have a client ID and client secret. This would be how it's going to authorize itself with the authorization endpoint. It's going to have a PXE and a PXE verifier, or it's going to have the PXE flag, whether or not it's using PXE, and then a verifier. In a perfect world, you don't ever pass a PXE verifier. You just set the PXE flag to true, and then you send a none option to PXE verifier, and then Savvy will generate the PXE verifier for you. It's going to just automatically use cryptographically secure strings so that you don't have to try to figure that out. There may be like a weird scenario where you want to send a specific PXE verifier. I don't know what that scenario is, but I've accounted for it. So it's there. There's also the redirect URI. This is where the user agent's going to be sent back to after it authorizes with the authorization code URL. That's also where the code value is going to be sent. And then the scopes. The scopes are the actual like resource level scopes that you're requesting for your access token. You also have to pass a token auth method and a token endpoint. You're not going to use those in the get URL flow, but you use those in the follow-up, because the way that Savvy works is as you when you create an authorization code URL, it's going to create in memory a little like a fast expiring spot in memory that tracks this config's information. That way, whenever you have your callback URL, you can just take Savvy and just call the exchange token for exchange code for token. All you have to do is give it the state value, because the authorization code, you create a state value and you send it with your initial request. And then that way, when you get your response back to the callback URL, you can check to make sure that the state value that was sent back is the same as part of the security handshake. And so you'll just give it the state value. Savvy generates a state value. There isn't actually a way for you to custom set a state value, I don't think, right now. I don't know that would ever be something that like is valuable. Maybe though, I don't know. So it's going to accept a state value. It's going to take whatever state value is from that config. So when you go to your handler, all you're going to have to do is pass that state value and just kind of see that in action. We've got it here. So you've got your auth callback, authorization code config is here. It's going to build an example auth config. That's going to be all the pieces that we just talked about. It's going to make this authorization code URL, and then this is just going to drop a link into the web page. But you could potentially redirect someone here. You could wrap this in a button. Like for our GitHub integration, we're probably going to, well, I don't know that we'll do it in Savvy, but someone using Savvy to authenticate using GitHub is probably going to want to create like a little styled button, like a little black button with rounded corners, and the GitHub logo is sort of like this one right here. So once they've clicked that, once the user agent clicks that, they're going to be redirected to wherever the authorization server is doing their authentication. And then once the user authenticates, the authorization server is going to take the state value that you sent initially. It's going to take a code that it has generated itself, and then it's going to append those to the redirect URI, and then it's going to redirect the user agent back to that redirect URI. And when it does that, we've sent this callback, right? So you can see here we've kind of sent the callback URI. So whenever it actually hits this with the state value and the code value, we can then take that state value that is the requirements of the OAuth2 RFC. We can take that state value and then pass that and the code straight to Savvy, and then Savvy can go and look up what auth config was configured for that state value. So that way Savvy kind of keeps track of that for you. you don't have to build it yourself. You don't have to figure out where everything goes, or stash away that state value so that you can double check it yourself. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that you just won't have to do because Savvy will know to do it for you. So then we have GitHub. GitHub's working on now. So we've got a get authorization URL. We're going to pass it this config. GitHub is much more streamlined because it doesn't require Pixie. It doesn't require a token endpoint because that's static, that's fixed for GitHub. It doesn't require, what else doesn't it take? We don't need the authorization endpoint. GitHub's always the same. We've got client ID and client secret. We don't need Pixie or verifier because GitHub does not support Pixie. We have a redirect UI, but GitHub actually calls it a callback URL, so we've called it that just for sanity, right? We want, from a developer experience perspective, we want what they see in GitHub and what they see in Savvy to look as close as possible. There's no scopes. It didn't look like there was a way to pass scopes. It didn't look like there was a way to pass scopes. Oh, maybe there is a way to pass scopes here. Request to get a user's GitHub identity. Okay, authorizing auth apps. They can act on behalf of users. Okay. To authorize your auth app, consider which authorization flow best fits your app. We're going to be using the web application flow. Device flow is device credentials, which we have not created yet. We need to go back and build the flow for the device credentials flow still, but that can be later. So web application flow, we authorize users for your app, redirect to their GitHub. User redirected to request their GitHub identity. So that's like when you click a button, it says, do you want to authorize this application, blah, 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 to access your GitHub stuff? And then they're redirected back to your site by GitHub. Your app accesses the API with user's access token. All right, yeah, this is what we'll be doing, because this is what we actually care about, right? All right, so client ID, that's required. Redirect UI, strongly recommended. How would this work without? You're like, what would you do if you didn't give it a redirect UI? Where would GitHub take you? I don't know. All right, login optional. Suggest a specific account to use for signing in. Oh, it's the login hint. Okay. Let's come back to GitHub. Let's take a look at this. Let's add some of these on here as sort of optional. Actually, why is this called redirect UI and not callback UI here? Where was I before? Authenticating with? Authenticating, oh, this must have been where we were before. Yeah, so we have we still pass scope. Okay, so we need scopes here. And it's just called scope. I don't know why scope is always singular. That kills me. Look, there's more than one. Call them plural. Let's see. How did we type this before? Nope, too far. That's right there. String list option. Well, string list option there. That's a string list here. We better stick with string list. That seems more sensible. We got scope. Scope is being passed here. Where's state? How does state get passed? This doesn't seem to talk about state. Too many tabs open. Authorize, okay. How do I authorize with a GitHub app. I'm interested. I mean, tell me more. Well, a GitHub app. Never mind. No. GitHub app is just interact with GitHub, or just interact with Git using your credentials, which is fine. That's just not the flow we're working on right now. Savvy is like our key first thing that we want to focus on is that we want to get authentication for like ecosystems, right? If I build a new app, I want to authenticate people into my new app using GitHub. Oh man, we never changed our stream title. At least our tags are right. Anyway, all right. So, yeah, a GitHub app is just for interacting with Git. We're working on building something so that we can authenticate into our own ecosystems with whatever it is that we're doing. So, we want to authorize. It looks like there's a bunch of things. So, request to user's GitHub identity. Yeah, Pixie not supported. Users are redirected back to your site by GitHub. And then you can exchange a code. Okay. Well, then I guess we do have all these things. For some reason, I didn't think we did. I must have been reading the wrong stuff last week. All right, client ID. He doesn't actually think we need client secret at all. Oh yeah, we need client secret here. Okay, that's fine. So client ID, redirect URI. I guess we're gonna call this redirect URI then. We'll change it. Login. I don't really understand what login is. It's like a hint. It suggests a specific account. So like, if you know for sure that the user is that you're trying to connect to, maybe login hint could be useful. I guess if you're like trying to make a connection between two accounts and you want to use the same email address, maybe. Or this like I don't know what it's checking on. Is login the GitHub username or the email address associated? If it was email address, that would make more sense. Because then you could like sync accounts, right? Then you could say, I have my user in, Foo app, and then I want to connect to Foo app, I want to connect to users GitHub's repos. I want to sync their accounts so that everyone who has an account in Foo app will also have access to their repos in GitHub. Like maybe that could be it. Scope. Context dependent. Space limited list of scopes. If not provided, scope defaults to an empty list for users that have not authorized any scopes for the application. Interesting. So, for users who have authorized scopes for the application, so if you've already authorized the app in the past and you've only got those two scopes, the user and repo, third Webflow that does not provide a scope will automatically receive a token with the scopes that have been previously requested. I don't know if I love that or not, but it is what it is. State value, strongly recommended. Yeah, definitely recommended. We generate all of our own state in Savvy though, so we actually have a utility specifically for generating state that we'll use. It's this one, right? We generate state. We create a bunch of gobbledygook. We got state. We also generate code verifiers for Pixie. And we generate code challenges from verifiers. And we do our own form encoding. Alright, So we got state allow sign up. What is allow sign up? Whether or not unauthenticated users will be offered an option to sign up for GitHub. I don't know. We'll add it. This is Boolean, right? Oh, it's a string. Oh, I guess it has to be a string, right? Because we're passing it over HTTP. Prompt forces the account picker to appear if set to select account. What? Oh. The account picker will also appear if the application has a non-HTTP redirect URI or if the user has multiple accounts signed in. Oh, okay. Well, we probably want that then. Prompt. I feel like this shouldn't be a string though. It probably should be forces the account picker to appear if set to select account. What else would I set it to? Are there any other values? The account picker will also appear if the application has a... I kind of wonder if this could be... This could just be like, we just have two types for it. Just say, you either pass prompt or you don't. I guess it could even just be Boolean. Yeah. I think I like Boolean because then we could just say, I don't know, do we want to be able to pass something else? We'll stick with Boolean for now. I think it needs to be more flexible though. I think Boolean long term probably doesn't work. I suspect there will be other things you might want to send besides select account. Maybe we should just create a type. We should create a type for this. This can be prompt. It's gonna get namespaced really weirdly. GitHub prompt. Oh man, it's been a week since I built OCaml and now I'm trying to remember how to do types. This is not good. JavaScript! No prompt. Oh, alright. Hold on. I need to go look at my own code. Remember what I'm doing here. Pixie style. Oh, okay. No one panic. I remember now. Right? What am I doing wrong here? Type name equals. Type name equals. Oh, it's because it's uppercase, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. All right, cool. Uppercase, save the day. Let's see, select account. Wait, these should be uppercase on this one though, right? Yeah, okay. Is there a way to like, I need to do like a sum here. Like sum versus none, and then like a static sum. Let's ask the robot. Yeah, whatever, I don't care. So it wants to either be wants its value to be either none, some select account, can't remember if I need parentheses. I don't think I need the parentheses. Or some any string they want. How would I craft a type for this? Other of string. Okay. None select maps to none. Select account maps to some select other string. Gives more type safety. It makes pattern matching easier. Okay. Of string. Good to know. So we'll do that, and then we do other of string. Sweet. Okay. The more you know. Goodbye, robot. Alright, so GitHub prompt. We'll replace this here. We want to use a prompt. Alright. That gives us all of these guys. We'll still need this stuff though, so we don't need Pixie. We're going to exchange access codes. We'll need a client ID, we'll need a client secret. We'll get the code and we'll have a redirect URI already. Alright, so let's change this to redirect URI. Now I have to find everywhere this is used. How many places did I use it? Oh, thank goodness, only 3 places. Redirect, oops, URI. Nope. Callback URL. Oh, oops. Let's see. Oh gosh, I've ruined everything. Okay. Let's come here, replace that one. Alright, so we replaced it everywhere. Doing build, stuff still broken. Oh, doing stuff's totally broken right now. Sweet, love that. Let's see, implementation. Module type GitHub client is required but not provided. Oh shucks, where did I leave off on this? I thought I was already past this. OAuth client, unused declaration. What? Unused token declaration. Excuse me. Is that in here? That stuff seems fine. Let's go back to main. GitHub. That seems like that should be okay. Oh, I'm missing a bunch of content.